Hey everybody, Max Rich here, and that is a song called Take the A Train. Originally written by Billy Strayhorn, but made famous by Miles Davis, made famous by a bunch of people, right? And it's a jazz standard, meaning that it's sort of like a regular jazz song that a lot of people play. Because let's face it, there are hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of jazz songs, right? But there is a select handful, maybe, 50 to 100, that are just regular occurrences by pretty much every major jazz musician. You think of this song, or you think of Summertime, or you think of, Blue Bossa, or something like this, right? Jazz standards. And this is like a perfect jazz standard, meaning that it has chords that are not your typical major minor chord. It's not just C major, G major, D minor type of thing, but they have extensions, meaning that they're minor 7th chords, or 6th chords, or flat 9 chords, right? So if any of that makes no sense to you at all, you're like, I've never even heard what is a minor 7 chord, what's a flat 9 chord, then I want you to take a second and I want you to jump back and look at some of our lessons revolving around chord structure, major minor chords, sort of like an intro to jazz chords. We have a bunch of lessons on that, so I want you to check out some of that, because I'm not going to take the time to break down the structure of major minor chords and 7th chords and things like this, because that's sort of a prerequisite to playing jazz. And this is, even though it is considered like a beginner jazz song, you still need to understand the basic fundamentals of jazz theory before you can play a basic beginner jazz song. Because like I said, virtually no jazz song I'm aware of uses major and minor exclusively. There's always 7th chords, there's always dominant chords, there's always a bunch of different types of chords, and if you're unfamiliar with them, then I want you to take a second and familiarize yourself. But if you are, what we're going to do today, we're going to talk about the harmony, the harmonic structure of the song, and how the melody sort of interacts with that. And I'm going to teach you both parts, the harmony, so the chords, as well as the melody. In jazz we call it the head. And I'm going to teach it to you in a way that's easy and comfortable and readily able to be replicated. So what happens a lot in jazz is you'll change the key. You'll say, okay, we're going to do Blue Bossa in the key of E minor, or whatever, right? The original key is C minor. So you need to have sort of a grasp on how to transpose and how to move things around. And so by showing you one position in which you could play the melody, it's up to you then to figure out another position in which you could play the identical melody. You move it up a half step, it changes key. You move it up another half step, it's a different key again. And so learning that sort of means of transposition is really huge as a musician. So a lot of stuff to cover, so let's not waste any time. Let's get going right now.